Radiohead is one of those bands that I've heard tons of good things about, whether it be from magazine lists, reviewers, even artists that I love like Frank Ocean, but I've never really taken the time to find out about their music. Now this record, Paranoid Android, comes off the band's album OK Computer, which often tops lists for the best album of the 90s. So it's a very influential record. What I'm most excited about seeing and hearing is Tom York's writing, because I've heard tons of good things about it, and it's often the writing and lyrics of a track that impress me the most. Lastly, what I want to do is shout out Radial for his donation and suggesting me to listen to this track, essentially. So big shout out to Radial. Thank you for your donation, mate. I will say also, if you would like to suggest a track and donate to the operation we have going on here, I should say me that I have going on here, you can do so through PayPal. It's the easiest way to do so, or through a super thanks on YouTube. But other than that, hope you guys enjoy the reaction. This should be fun. Okay, here we go. This is Paranoid Android by Radiohead. If you do end up enjoying the video, hit me with a like, maybe share it with a friend, and if you haven't already and want to join this awesome community we have on the channel, hit subscribe. Here we go. Very pretty guitars. I like it.
Please could you stop the noise? I'm trying to get somewhere.
Wow. Beautifully layered guitars. Interesting line. The instrumental of this thing is absolutely gorgeous. There's a ton going on. There seems to be layers of guitars, but almost making like this wall of noise. It's like almost like a hum, but it's gorgeous. I don't want to make it sound like it's a bad thing at all. And then over the top seems to be, then if all the instrumentation is like this, then you have, I think that's Tom York, right, singing. Tom York's voice, which is also sitting on top of it too. Really cool how he does that. It's like all layered in together. And then you have the very pretty lead guitar coming through too. The high pitched. Love the lead guitar, man. That's a great line. Bass work is brilliant. There's a lot of like unique sounds in the background as well.
Ambition makes you look pretty ugly. Kick and screaming goose, you little piggy.
Okay, so if I'm trying to make a guess about who the narrator is, I think it's quite a cool or unique perspective to write from. He seems to be someone who's like quite frustrated at what he's seeing. So first he describes himself as being quite a restless person, and he has a really cool line where he says, "From all the unborn chicken voices in my head." Now, I don't know if it's is Tom York a vegan? Is that like the angle that is coming from? Like humans are destructive, and like we have a lot of like death on our heads. Is that the point that's trying to be made here, or the line intends essentially? And then he's got another cool, really great line where he says, "When I am a king, you'll be first against the wall." Pretty damn cool. Essentially like talking about the firing squads that existed in history. Some great one-liners in this thing. Then he's got this one as well. Kicking, squealing, Gucci, little pig.
You don't remember. You remember my name. I feel this head, man. I feel this head, man. You remember my name. I guess you do.
Oh, the musical switch on. Four different songs in one. A lot of fifth different sound, a lot of distortion being used. Great harmonies. It almost sounds like the mind inside the mind, an insight into the mind of a schizophrenic person. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting right now. Can't quite make up who he is, right? At one point, he seems to be very down on himself, and then another point, he seems to think he's a king, right? And he wants to like enact revenge on people. It's like kind of going back and forth with it, right? And then it's almost like the music mimics that back and forth, almost bipolar nature of him. They're using a lot of distortion and electronic noises. The most gorgeous parts of it is when York's voice is layered in with those beautiful guitars. That was my favorite part so far. Let's back this up again. He's got a great voice. See right there, when he's harmonizing with all the music. The seventh switch up. That was wow. That was a very unique track, man. It was an awesome track. Lots to say there, dude. Okay, firstly, it's like 7 or 8 tracks in one, right? And I think that's the point of the song. Like I was saying, I think it's like the mind of like someone with like multiple personality disorder or something, dude. It was like the music mimicked what was going on in the dude's head as he became down and melancholy. We had this section here, which is, I think, like the highlight of what I was saying, where York's voice is used as one of those other noises amongst that wall of noise. It's so pretty, dude, the way he does it. He harmonizes and layers it all together. Well, I should say the band does. That was really brilliant, man. I loved whenever he did that. And then you'd have these quite abrupt almost changes into someone else or some other part of the music, and they use distortion and electronic elements, like even like sounds and beeps and things that you'd almost hear on your phone or something like that on purpose. And I think like the point of that was maybe like to speak about how like disrupted our brains are with technology. I think that's the point trying to be made here, perhaps, if there is a point ever to a song. It's coming at the end of the 90s. I think 97 is when it was released. Maybe it's quite foreshadowing. I think it's a forward-looking track, certainly. And lastly, I'll say what's really cool is to hear the sort of influence I hear in other musicians with this track. Like I talked about Frank Ocean in the intro, but his track Pyramids, if any of you guys haven't heard that song yet, who's on this channel, check out that track Pyramids by Frank Ocean. I totally see him taking inspiration from this track for that record. Really cool, especially with all those switch ups and telling this kind of grand tale in between it. Really cool track, man. Very, very interesting. I'm very excited to hear more Radiohead. If you guys want to hear it, 2 thumbs up.